The rate these recordings go, I may want to start putting a short practice session before the event so I can actually understand how the vehicle drives before I start the episode. In any case, we are now back after about a week's hiatus with more time loop. Good thing I got the Universal GP out when I did, because literally like a few hours later I got a terrible cold that made talking and doing much of anything else an incredible pain in, well, just about every part of my body. So we're here at Fuji, a track which in the originally planned schedule for this series was used quite a lot, and then it's only been used once, with Dexter. The front of the lineup isn't terribly interesting. As we go down, we have myself. But it's not me, that's playing myself. We have 16 Angels. And we have a bit of an interesting perspective for this race. This time we're playing as Madison. And it's the first time, I believe, in the series I've played as a character that's an extra. Not a Cartoon Network character, and not a Hot Wheels character. There aren't very many of them. Actually, wait, no, I played as Captain Falcon. And there's only like 5 or 6 other ones that aren't Captain Falcon or Madison. Myself, I can't physically play as Tyler and Thrasher. Beat, Mortimer, Sonic. Okay, there's more than 5 or 6. There's like 8. Shadow, Octane, and Vanellope and Ralph. That's something like car there. Nope, I'm number 89, not 191. Alright. Damage is on by accident, so I have a bit of front-end aero damage, which means top speed is reduced. And on a course like Fuji, that actually does kind of hurt a little bit. The front straightaway is very lengthy. Alright. What are we doing, people? Now I have 13 damage. At this point, I have, like, literally half the top speed I should have. It's weird because being aerodynamic damage, you'd think it would actually affect my steering, but no, it affects my top speed more than it does that. It does slightly affect steering, but not much. However, in this vehicle, any bit of lessened handling is a bit of a damper because its turning isn't exactly the greatest ever. This game just loves having the outdated GT cars at the front of the field. Other than me right now, it goes SLS, Z4, Z4. Both models of which have been sent to obsolescence by another model from the same car company. The AMG Mercedes instead of this SLS. And we have the BMW M6, which I think the Z4 in this game still drives better than that M6, but it's the newer model, and it's the one that you see on a racetrack today if you went to one. I mean, I was there, but okay. I don't know, practice the AI look more rusty than me. And they're the stinking AI. There's that air damage destroying my existence here. I had a way better run, but I have like no top speed, and he's in like 175 right now. But it seemingly matters not. Low, turning, steering, cornering, thank you. Steering, cornering, thank you. My god. Maybe it affects it more than I originally thought it did. My god. Now, because of the one-head system, I'll have the joy of having this guy's headlights blocking my, or distracting my vision for the next 20 minutes. I'm sure with all this damage, too, I'm definitely not going to get away. It's damage that even if I look behind me and look at the front of the car, there's not really any visible damage there. But trust me, the car is definitely damaged. It's not how this thing normally drives. Like, where's the damage? There's nothing. What the heck was that? And once again, the thing with Madison, her personality, at least in the series, is a kind of a blank slate, as it were. So whether or not she has that aggressive personality trait is not really determined. Can you, like, go away? Yep. Definitely an American car. Because we have what's essentially the stand-in for the heavy category of the series. Like how suddenly that time that guy decided he didn't feel like trying to pass me. Yes, car, turning is an operation that you have to perform. Good enough. The thing with the understeer, where it's even coming from, is the little spreadsheet that I got a while ago for my Racing League team owner that detailed the behaviors of each of the GT cars. The thing warned this car was a little unstable, so I, prepared for that. I changed the settings a little so the car would be a little more under my command, and then as a result, the vehicle just doesn't turn that well. My eye is now incredibly itchy. We're almost 10 seconds away from the other opponents, yet this stupid-ass Mercedes is right on my butt. Like, we seriously have 2 entire corners over the rest of the opponents, and this guy's just here because he feels like it. I'm tempted to just add a mean streak to this character off the get-go. Just take this guy out of my way. Don't need his distractions. I'm all over these 1-minute 43s. Oh, my eye is so itchy. Please stop. Got noticeably brighter out. Fuji looks so intimidatingly cool at night. Or in like the early morning, late evening. Where the clouds are just kind of like a dark blue rather than a black or gray. Mount Fuji alone counts for like 65% of why this is one of my favorite racetracks. I'm sure we start braking for the turn. I don't need your HUD. I would like it, but I don't need it. Oh yeah, I said another minute 43. Nope. Let there be late, apparently. My arm is itchy. So another 43, or am I gonna finally crack a 42? Nope, another 43. This car isn't at maximum pace, but it is consistently about a second and a half off. Like this, I mean, it actually... I imagine the air damage might have made this car more stable. That is a thing that can actually happen. If it's front damage, it makes the steering less capable, but it also means the car won't be turning as much. And therefore slides don't happen as much. Of course, when you do slide, then you don't have the turning to recover it, but... it makes them a bit of a rarer occurrence. Now, if it's rear wing damage, rear aerodynamic damage, then you're just completely out of luck. That's just pit for damages and pray. It's all you can really do. I'm aware that I take one of the weirdest lines to that turn, but I'd take it. I don't crash the car, so really, as long as I don't hit anything or anyone, doesn't really matter how I take a turn, I just have to take it. There's another minute 43. That's not where you brake for that. Track is warmer, I have a little more grip. Slightly better turning, but then also slightly less stability, especially if I dip a tire into the grass. That's just asking to go for a spin. Currently lap 3, I said a minute 42.6, and at this point, I'm not really sure how I did that. I think it had to have been in an AI car's draft down the front straightaway. It's the only way I can possibly fathom. I've never experienced a rain race around this track, but I can only imagine that it's not the greatest time. It's because of the elevation changes and all of the low speed turns, which can be made drastically more annoying when the track is wet. There's a 42. Finally, a new fastest lap at that. That's despite missing the braking zone here before. Must be that additional grip from the daylight coming into play there. Yes, and I'm also finally beginning to shake that Mercedes has been hounding my rear exhaust for the last 14-15 minutes. Here's the exhaust going nuts back there. Another 42. Ooh, we're getting actually even faster. Just think, we could almost be running probably high minute 40s if the air damage weren't docking my power output by a massive margin. We're probably hitting like 164, 165 down the straight, not 161. Pardon me. That was not the intended one at all. That is not a 42. Should only have 2 laps to go here. This and one more to finish the job. Oh, that's not where you do... It's not how you take that. I can actually get faint hints if I turn in too sharp there that the vehicle is still trying to be ever so slightly unstable, but the aero damage is actually preventing the amount of turn-in necessary to cause that to happen. So maybe the aero damage wasn't the worst thing that could happen to me. Currently ahead of the Mercedes by 4 seconds, and everybody else by 20. The relatives aren't always accurate. Down there in the bottom left. The top left is usually what's more accurate. Also another 42. We have now entered the final lap of this race here in Fuji. I'm like apparently trying to spin out, apparently. Apparently I like that word a lot. Great commentary from me, as always. And that is this race here at Fuji over and done with. Madison, a character that got basically no results in the original universe. Look at that lap time. Character that basically got no results in the original universe, 0. And does manage to win this race. Helped in part due to the absence of many other notable characters which could challenge that. And the ones that were here didn't start near the front very much. Neither did we, but apparently Madison does have a bit of a mean streak and sort of muscled her way to the front, pushing a few imbeciles out of the way. That's only there in place of in case your vehicle, if you make a mistake or something happens to your vehicle which doesn't really meet, which renders you incapable of making the normal track layout. And in other video games, and well, just in real life too, there are versions of Fuji that use that part of the track rather than going around it, but this game doesn't have that version, it just has the Grand Prix layout. Something like your older Gran Turismo games, however, would have several different versions of this track. Looks so weird as the camera stays in place. Alright, so that'll be it for... And yes, I do this on purpose, because otherwise the thumbnails just look dumb, because it's always the race results or the Project Cars logo, and frankly, that gets a little old, so I have to make up my own thumbnails by just having the video end up on the picture. Yes, this is the end of episode 29 of Time Loop. Next episode, I can tell you what's going to happen. And finally conclude this Barcelona plot that's been around for probably longer than it should be. I didn't want to spam out the track 7 episodes in a row, because that would just get boring if I did Barcelona 4 or 5 episodes consecutively. And just different cars. Which I guess does mean that every episode in between has been filler. Not really, the last episode is actually going to be important at some point. Or the previous episode, not the last episode. That makes it sound like the final episode is important. Like, yeah, no, really?